first news is coming from India. India shares border with China more than 3,000 plus kilometers. And on the day of the 15th of June, 20 Indian soldiers were killed in a violent between the two sides in the disputed region of Aksai Ladakh. And more than 45 Chinese soldiers have been killed. Both countries are protecting their border very securely. And both countries by army-wise ready for a fight. But India wants friendship and peace. India is ready for counteraction. Second news coming from the US. Trump's Oklahoma rally can go ahead, court rules. Oklahoma's Supreme Court has ruled that President Donald Trump's rally on Saturday in Tulsa, his first since March, can go ahead. A lawsuit to stop the 20th of June event over concerns that it could increase the spread of COVID-19 in the community was filed this week. Virus cases are rising in Oklahoma, and local health officials have expressed concerns over hosting the rally. The Trump campaign says they received over 1 million ticket requests for the event. The queue for the event at the Bank of Oklahoma Center, which seats 19,000 people, began forming earlier this week. Facing tough re-election prospects in November, the president is hoping to reboot his campaign after a rocky week that has seen news of sinking opinion poll numbers, twin U.S. Supreme Court defeats, 2 damning tell-all memoirs, and a resurgence in coronavirus cases. Third news coming from U.S. Attorney Jeffrey Berman denies he is stepping down. A top federal prosecutor has issued a statement saying he has not resigned, despite the U.S. Justice Department announcing he was stepping down. Jeffrey Berman, the U.S. Attorney in Manhattan, said he learned he was stepping down in a press release issued by U.S. Attorney General William Barr on Friday evening. Mr. Barr gave no reason for the move. He said Securities and Exchange Commission Chairman Jay Clayton would be nominated to succeed Mr. Berman. Mr. Berman has overseen the prosecution of a number of U.S. President Donald Trump's associates since he took office in 2018. They include President Trump's former lawyer Michael Cohen, who was served a prison sentence for lying to Congress, the U.S. legislature, and election campaign finance fraud. Mr. Berman's department has also been investigating the conduct of Rudy Giuliani, Mr. Trump's current personal lawyer. He is also leading the investigation into Jeffrey Epstein, and who earlier this month accused Prince Andrew of shutting the door on his probe. In his statement, Mr. Berman said he had no intention of resigning, adding he would only step down when a successor had been confirmed by Congress. Mr. Berman was appointed to his position by a court, making it unclear whether President Trump has the legal authority to remove him, BBC North America correspondent Anthony Zucha says. Senior Democrats have accused Mr. Barr of politicizing the U.S. Justice Department and making legal decisions at the behest of President Trump. The row comes days after former National Security Advisor John Bolton said in a book that President Trump had pressed Mr. Berman's office to halt an investigation into the Turkish Hawk Bank in a bid to make a deal with Turkey's president. BSF kills Pakistani drone on Jammu and Kashmir border. On Saturday, the Border Security Force (BSF) on the international border in Kathua district of Jammu and Kashmir killed a Pakistani drone equipped with a modern rifle and some small bombs. Officials gave this information. Pakistani drone shot down. Rifle, magazine, small bomb recovered. This is the first such incident in the Jammu region when BSF has killed a drone equipped with weapons and explosives. With this, Pakistan's attempt to smuggle arms into the Union territory through drones has been thwarted. Officials said a BSF patrol saw a drone hovering in the sky in the area of border outpost Panzer at around 5:10 a.m. Next news coming from Canada. Ontario and Quebec reported the newest coronavirus cases in Canada on Friday, while the Atlantic provinces continued to see no new cases. Ontario announced 178 new coronavirus cases Friday, the majority of which were in Alberta, bringing the province's total to 33,095. Overall, the province's new cases have been on the decline. It is the 12th day in a row less than 300 new cases have been reported and the 6th day in a row that new cases have been in the 100 seconds. The province also announced 11 more deaths, bringing its total to 2,564. Ontario has increased its testing drastically, adding 27,225 tests from yesterday to bring its total tests to 1,123,932. Meanwhile, 28,250 Ontarians have recovered from the virus, which is 85% of the total cases. India has signed an intergovernmental agreement with France in September 2016 for the procurement of 36 Rafale fighter jets at a cost of around Rs 58,000 crore. News is coming from Indian Air Chief Marshal R.K.S. Bhadauria. Air Chief Marshal R.K.S. Bhadauria visited Ladakh to review the Indian Air Force's preparedness in the sensitive sector, where the force is operating its fighter jets and new attack and heavy lift helicopters 2 days after the 20 men were killed in Galwan Valley. Air Chief Marshal R.K.S. Bhadauria said on Saturday the gallant action of the 20 Indian Army personnel, who were killed in a violent face-off with Chinese troops in eastern Ladakh's Galwan Valley, had shown the force's resolve to protect India's sovereignty at any cost. The Indian Air Force (IAF) chief's comments came after he made a low-key visit to Ladakh to review the Indian Air Force's (IAF's) preparedness in the sensitive sector, where the force is operating its fighter jets and new attack and heavy lift helicopters 2 days after the 20 army men, including a commander, were killed in Galwan Valley. Bhadauria visited the Forward Eye bases, Leh on Wednesday and Srinagar on Thursday, at a time of increased Chinese military activity across the disputed line of actual control, LAC, where Indian and Chinese troops have been caught in a tense confrontation for over 7 weeks and efforts to de-escalate have failed. Please join me in paying tribute to Colonel Santosh Babu and his brave men who made the sacrifice while defending the LAC in Galwan Valley. The gallant actions in a highly challenging situation have demonstrated our resolve to protect India's sovereignty at any cost, Bhadauria said. Colonel Babu was the commander of the 16th Bihar Regiment, who was killed along with 19 other men in Galwan Valley in eastern Ladakh on Monday night. It should be very clear that we are well prepared and suitably deployed to respond to any contingency. I assure the nation that we are determined to deliver and will never let the sacrifice of the braves of Galwan go in vain, the EF chief added. He made the comments during the combined graduation parade (CGP) at the Air Force Academy in Hyderabad. The security scenario in our region mandates that our armed forces remain prepared and vigilant at all times. The development at the line of actual control (LAC) in Ladakh is a small snapshot of what we are required to handle at short notice, he said. In spite of unacceptable Chinese action after agreements reached during military talks and the resulting loss of lives, all efforts are underway to ensure that the current situation at LAC is resolved peacefully, Bhadauria said. China's People's Liberation Army (PLA) killed 20 personnel of the Indian Army, including a colonel, on June the 15th in the Galwan Valley after the PLA did not follow through on a commitment to disengage as per an understanding reached between the two militaries on June the 6th. Indian military officials familiar with the sequence of the clash believe there were over 40 casualties on the Chinese side, including deaths and injuries. China has not officially given out numbers of casualties on its side. Tensions between India and China have increased after the June 15th Galwan skirmish that marked the first Indian casualties in a border clash with PLA troops since October 1975, when Chinese troops ambushed an Indian patrol in Arunachal Pradesh's Chulangla sector and shot 4 soldiers dead. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said on Friday that neither has anyone entered Indian territory, nor is anyone present in Indian territory currently, and nor is any Indian post captured. Neither has anyone entered our territory, nor is anyone still there, nor is any of our posts under anyone's capture. In Ladakh, our 20 Jawans got martyred. But they taught a lesson to those who were eyeing Indian territory, PM Modi said at an all-party meeting called to discuss the India-China border situation. The PM had also praised the valor of the 20 army personnel killed in the clash and said they taught a lesson to those who were eyeing Indian territory.